Hello, I'm Dr. Tiina Meder, dermatologist and the founder of Meder Skincare brand. And today I will be speaking about our new approach to the acne treatment based mostly on the microbiome science. So, fast your belts. That will be some surprises, especially in the part about microbiome. So what it is, the skin microbiome? I am still speaking about it because it's not the commonplace in our discussion when we are speaking about the skincare. Unfortunately, I don't see a lot of influencers or a lot of journalists and press speaking about the microbiome properly. Fortunately, the word is here, so a lot of people are familiar how it sounds, but what it is really. The microbiome is defined as a collective genome of microorganisms, including cells. Why it is important? Because there are two terms on the market, microbiome and microbiota. Probably you heard both, and this is a difference between them, because microbiota, it is a community of cells. So bacteria and fungi. Viruses, they are not cells. They are RNA-based substances. So when you are speaking about the microbiota, you are not including viruses in the discussion. And they are quite important because they play a huge role in the skin immunity formation and also in our body work. Also, when you are speaking about the microbiota, you're not speaking about genes of bacteria, of fungi, or all these microorganisms living in our skin. And genes are important too because there are some interactions between genetic materials of microorganisms and genetic materials, DNA, of our cells. And good news is, then this interaction is mostly beneficial. The best thing about the microbiome is that huge part of the microbiome is purely beneficial for us. So we are living in symbiosis. We are living in the synergy. Only about 200 microorganisms can be called pathogenic for our body, for our skin. And microbiome, it is not only microorganisms themselves, it's a whole huge complicated complex of interaction between viruses, fungi, bacteria, cells of immune system, skin cells, nervous cells, and so on and so on. There are a lot of interesting facts about the microbiome, but what I think you should know about the skin microbiome being a skin therapist. First of all, it is diverse. For me, microbiome, it is a beautiful allegory of the human society because when the microbiome is less diverse or not diverse, it is pathological microbiome. It is causing the problem. It is leading to death of the living microorganisms. Same for society, right? When the human society became monotone, became less diverse, it means a problem for society and it leads to the death of society as we see it. So microbiome, there are thousands of different species and even smallest of them plays a very important role in the microbiome. So you should not eliminate. They are living in the very complicated but beautiful synergy. So everyone is important. Also, the microbiome is unique to each individual. We have microbiome print. It's like a fingerprint, but even better, because for 48 hours after your presence somewhere, it is possible to know that you've been there and to see your whole trajectory in the space. And actually it's used now. There's been very interesting research in the hospital environment. Then you can't find the trajectory of nurse in 24 hours time. Where they've been, what they did, what they touched, because they're leaving the traces of the microbiome and they're absolutely unique. Also, most of skin bacteria, viruses, fungi, they are beneficial. And I said it before, but it's never enough to say it again, because we should not see the microbiome, the microorganisms living on our skin, living in our gut, living in our body as pathological. We should be very careful about it. We should help them to thrive in our body. And the location of different microbiome defines the characteristics of the microbiome. For example, microbiome of the face is defined by fat, by lipids of the sebum. Because when you have a lot of sebum glands, their microbiome adapted to this environment. They're hydrolyzing this fatty acid. They are helping to create for this lipid protective film. And there are different kinds of bacteria. For example, Cutibacterium acnes. They are hydrolyzing lipids, and also they are very powerful antioxidant being. They're producing a lot of antioxidant substances, so they're creating this antioxidant sebum film for our face. Bacteria living in the sweat glands, they're completely different. And they are interacting with the sweat. They are digesting, they are absorbing these proteins of the sweat, but also they are detoxifying toxins, because our sweat glands, they are small organs of detoxification. And bacteria living on our bottom, they're different too, because, fun fact, the bottom is the driest and coldest place in our body. Nothing is colder, nothing is drier. So the skin of bottom is like a cold desert when they're thriving different desert community. And if some bacteria who adapted to live in the sebum glands are coming on this dry, cold skin, it can create the problem, folliculitis, bottom acne. So microbiome is really defining the skin health. Also, microbiome is interacting with immune system, and it is not only interaction. Our immune cells in the skin, the Langerhans cells, it is a scientific name for them. We're born with them, and from the very first moment after we've been born, our immune cells are starting to learn how to protect our skin better. And this learning process is based, first of all, on the recognition of the enemy and the friend. So our immune cells should recognize the foreign, potentially harmful substances from harmless substances or beneficial substances. And the teacher is the microbiome. So it is very important, once again, for the baby from the very first day to get the whole access to the microbiome. Do not sterilize the baby's environment. Do not put the baby in the too clean clothes. I know how it sounds, but let a little bit of dirt be around it, because the diversity of the microbiome is also defined by the diversity of the environment around you. And our immune cells, they're educated by the microbiome. And actually, when the microbiome is diverse and healthy, it helps to educate immune system to avoid allergic reaction, because allergic reaction, it is an overreaction of immune cells. When your immune cells are overwhelmed and they cannot properly recognize friends from enemy, they're creating this allergy, just releasing histamine in your skin. And do you know who have lower risk and lower incidence of allergic reaction and atopic dermatitis? Children who've been growing in farms, in the contact with farm animals, playing with soil, playing with the water, and the incidence of atopic dermatitis is much higher in kids who grow up in the city indoors. So our immune system needs a microbiome. If you don't have enough of diversity of microbiome, if you don't have healthy microbiome in your skin and in your gut as well, by the way, you are prone to allergic reaction. You are prone to immune system conditions and reactions. So once again, very important for the health. And external factors are affecting microbiome very much. But microbiome, it is the most adapting system. So it can be weather, it can be even clothing. When you put your synthetic clothing or you put your natural clothing, it creates the different conditions for the microbiome. And surprise, natural clothing is better for the microbiome because it's breathing, it gets the proper exchange of the air and water with your skin. Also, it can be hygiene practices. It can be hygiene products. It can be skincare. It can be makeup. And everything can affect the skin microbiome. So you should think about it when you pick up any of them. And the skin microbiome is not stable. The big part of the skin microbiome, about 90% of the part, we call them host or stable or resident microbiome. It's like, these beautiful cities when you have tourists in some season of the year. But residents of this city, they're very stable. They are living in generations there. And sometimes they don't really like tourists because they can be useful, but when there are too much of them, it can affect your life quality. And about 10% of the microbiome, they are tourists. But some tourists choose to stay in town, but not all of them. So microbiome is constantly changing and adapting to the current situation. And microbiome now, it changed the whole concept of dermatology and skincare in global. So we don't see our skin anymore as an isolated community of skin cells. We see our skin as an ecosystem. I love to speak about the skin. I love to think about our body like a planet because literally humanity, it is part of the microbiome for the planet Earth, right? But in the same time, we are the planet for our microbiome. So the whole interaction should be beneficial on both sides. If you care about your microbiome will care about you. And then factors contributing to microbiome variation. That's a great article, by the way, about the skin microbiome. It's more than 10 years ago, but it is like a first approach to the microbiome science, still very actual. It's the physiology of the human body, the sex, the age, the site, and everything. It is an environment, so when you are living in a different kind of geographical environment, your microbiome is changing. When you are migrating, your microbiome will change. It is an immune system, how much it was educated and how well it was educated. It is your genotypes and the expression of genes responsible for the skin moisture, for the skin inflammation, for your tendency for the redness or acne or psoriasis or something else. Obviously, your lifestyle, occupation, hygiene. If you're working in the medical environment, you are exposed to disinfectant and to antibiotics very often, so it will affect your microbiome. And finally, pathobiology. So health condition. If you're diabetics, the level of sugar in your blood, which is higher than average, and this level of glucose, level of sugar, will affect your microbiome in the gut, in the skin, in all your organs. So once again, individuality. And one example about the environmental changes of the microbiome. I love it. I have a lot of them. I have a nice article about the contact sport, how it affects microbiome, but I love ocean because I love swimming. So your microbiome will be altered after 20 minutes in the ocean. And it will be altered for good because your skin will get more of healing capacity. That's why we say that if you have some skin damage, go to the sea, go to the ocean, because sea and ocean are healing. Actually, it is not the water itself. It is an ocean or the sea microbiome. And your microbiome stays oceanic for 24 hours after your ocean exposure. So if you live next to the ocean, you can keep your skin on the higher level of the healing ability, healing properties. And fun fact, that the prevalence of specific Vibrio microorganisms in the skin of ocean swimmer is like 10 times higher than in average. And it is good for the skin, but it is funny because normally we don't have this Vibrio. They are not significant. But if you go to the sea or the ocean, you will get the superpower to heal yourself better than anyone else. And a few fun facts. I just can't stop myself. We have 1 million microorganisms to each square centimeters of your skin. I love fun facts because it's something to speak with your patients and clients, right? The human microbiome has not exactly, but very similar number of microorganism cells as the human body cells. So who are hosting who? We don't really know. Some biologists say that microbiome just found humans as a host because they love to travel. And humans are traveling all the time. That's even the hypothesis that the modern microbiome formation was the reason motivating people to leave Africa and to go until the north, because just microbiome loves new impression in life. Also, we have more microorganisms genes than our own genes, and about 8% of our genes are not ours, they're viral. So 8% of the human being, it's a virus. And mitochondria, that's transformed viruses in our body. So literally, we are producing energy and we are converting food into the energy because we catch some bug millions of years ago. And microbiome changes, pathological microbiome changes, are observed in 20% of cancer patients. And some doctors say, some scientists say, and in 100% of diabetes patients, in 100% of psoriasis patients. So it is completely new area, new direction of research and understanding how much is the importance for the treatment of some kind of well-known conditions. And speaking about the acne, it's not only one Cutibacterium acnes. There are 120 strains of Cutibacterium acnes. Same family, same bacteria, but 120 strains of different bacteria. And in acne skin, there are different strains of acne bacteria. In healthy skin, there are beneficial strains of Cutibacterium acnes are persisting. They have more of antioxidant property and they are more anti-inflammatory. But in acne patients, we find pathogenical inflammatory Cutibacterium acnes strains. So it is not only the question, should we eliminate the Cutibacterium acnes? Actually, not. We should eliminate and suppress the growth of the specific strains of the Cutibacterium acnes persisting on the skin. And when we're speaking about the microbiome skincare, we are speaking about two kinds of skincare. First, it is microbiome friendly, which is very much in trend right now. Everyone is speaking that our products are microbiome friendly. I even seen some clothes microbiome friendly. I don't know how real it is, but I have seen this label. And another part of the skincare, it is microbiome oriented skincare. What is the difference? Microbiome friendly skincare does not affect the microbiome. So microbiome friendly skincare, it just lets the microbiome stay as it was before the application of this skincare. It does not contain antibacterial components. It does not regulate sebum production. It does not modulate pH reaction of the skin. And it just works in harmony with the existing microbiome system. And it can help to provide the moisture, the nourishment, the support, the existing skin barrier. And also it can help to promote the strongest skin barrier, the better moisturization of skin. But it does not change anything. So who needs the microbiome-friendly skincare? People who does not need changes in their skin. And when you achieve results and you look for long-lasting results, microbiome-friendly skincare is what you need. It can prevent age-related changes because it just helps to maintain your skin health. It can maintain results of skin therapy. So it's literally essential skincare for healthy skin. But you have no hope to get efficient treatment of the acne skin or rosacea skin or dry skin with microbiome-friendly skincare. I am sorry to say so, because a lot of people, they think that microbiome-friendly, it is something highly efficient. It is highly efficient in maintenance, but not in treatment. What kind of ingredients are used in microbiome-friendly skincare, and what kind of ingredients are clearly not friendly to microbiome? I just created this small list to help you to get read label properly. In microbiome-friendly, there are moisturizers like hyaluronic acid, very much microbiome-friendly, aloe vera leaf juice extract, carrageenan, a lot of seaweed algae extracts, all peptides and proteins, all plant stem cells. They're very much microbiome friendly. They're interacting with skin cells. We can promote, boost collagen synthesis with stem cells or peptides. But you will not treat acne with stem cells most of the time. Plant antioxidants, they're helpful, they're microbiome friendly. But if you get to microbiome unfriendly ingredients, they're all ingredients with well-known antibacterial action in the first place. So glycolic acid, it's not microbiome friendly. Pyruvic acid, salicylic acid, kojic, azelaic, and all other. Active form of retinol, essential oils. Almost all of them are antibacterial. Many of them are antifungal and antiviral. They're absolutely great ingredients. They're just not microbiome friendly. And benzoyl peroxide. That's a whole story about the benzoyl peroxide. Separately to that, but it is not microbiome friendly. Why it is important to understand? Because you should not use microbiome unfriendly ingredients constantly. They are great ingredients for active treatment. They are not ingredients for the daily skincare, which is recommended to use for years. You should take breaks with these ingredients. You should be more careful, because microbiome is an essential part of your ecosystem. You cannot affect microbiome all the time. Once you are healthy, you should stop. Microbiome-oriented skincare. It is a skincare which affects microbiome selectively and positively. So the whole idea to change the unhealthy microbiome and switch it to healthy. So we restore the microbiome health and diversity with microbiome-oriented skincare. We can use it for acne treatment, for rosacea treatment, for sensitive skin treatment, even for dry skin treatment, and even for age-related changes as an active course. And after, when we are coming to the place when we call the skin healthy, we are switching to microbiome-friendly skincare. What we have here, the microbiome-oriented skincare can be selective or global. And why it should be selective? Because non-selective disinfectants are unfriendly to the microbiome in total. So alcohol, antibiotics, antibacterial ingredients should not be used constantly, because it's very much disturbing for the skin microbiome. So if you are in contact with disinfectant, you should use gloves. You should not be exposed all the time to the disinfectant. And interaction of the skin with bacteria, fungi, viruses is very complicated. Here you see how it works. It's also very interesting article about it, how commensal bacteria, so-called beneficial bacteria, living on our skin, what they can produce for us. There are a few examples on this picture. Look, Propionibacterium acnes produce the small molecules, coproporphyrins. It can be used for the gut. It can be used as an inflammatory. Staphylococcus aureus is pathogenic, but another Staphylococcus produces a natural antibiotic called lugdunin, and antibiotic which suppresses the growth of pathogenic staphylococcus. And all beneficial antibacteria, they are producing some kind of antimicrobial peptides, which are very selective. So in our skin, it is constantly functioning, highly efficient, and highly technological laboratory, which can test some kind of harmful bacteria or another microorganisms on the skin, and in 15 minutes time synthesize highly efficient antibiotic, which this bacteria will not be resistant. Only problem when the pathogenic bacteria are starting to communicate with each other and creating this structure which protects them from this natural defense. This structure called biofilm, and I will speak about this a bit later. For microbiome-oriented and microbiome-friendly skincare, we are using some specific substances which came on the market only lately. And a lot of people, they don't understand really the difference, so it's always useful to speak a little bit about it. So for now, we are using 4 of microbiome-oriented, friendly classes of ingredients. First is prebiotics. What are prebiotics? They are made from plant extract mostly. It is a food for commensal, beneficial microorganisms, which is toxic or non-eatable for pathogenic bacteria. So you feed good bacteria and you create the hunger for bad bacteria, relatively. It's simplification, but it works like this. And pathogenic bacteria, they cannot grow properly. So population of beneficial bacteria is growing faster, and they're just eliminating excessive population of pathogenic or unwanted bacteria, restoring the balance in the population. Another ingredient, they are probiotics. They are living microorganisms. Mostly we are using here bacteria, bifida and lactic in 90% of cases, but also some other bacteria as well. And also we are using yeasts. And actually it is very traditional, because when we are speaking about the probiotics and the whole this microbiome stuff, people asking, isn't it dangerous? It is so new. Does science prove it to be safe? Actually, yes, because we use probiotics for thousands of years. Bread is a probiotic because bread is baked with yeasts. Wine, it is a classic probiotic because it's made from red grape with wine-making bacteria. When you drink wine, you drink bacteria. Sorry if you don't like the idea, but maybe it will limit your love to wine. Beer, same thing. Cheese, same thing. So a lot of things in our food are probiotics. And a lot of things which we are eating, they are prebiotics as well. For example, salads, fibers, cabbage, all kinds of raw vegetables. They are real probiotics for your beneficial gut bacteria. And the same thing we are using for the skin. We just started to use it now, and we used it already for thousands of years for our body, ingesting it. So, probiotics, we are using some kind of good bacteria. We literally transplant them to the skin, and they are enforcing the positive community, they are reinforcing the community of good bacteria, and suppressing and eliminating the excessive population of the bad bacteria. Also, we are using some postbiotics, and actually they are more popular in the skincare than probiotics. What does it mean? Probiotics, they are living bacteria, and it is difficult to keep living bacteria alive for 30 months in the jar. It is difficult to keep living bacteria alive in the cream or emulsion. It's possible in the water-based products, and it's possible in the dry form. It's easier for an oral supplement because you just take powder. But you cannot use a cream and a powder. You cannot just give it to people and say, do it yourself. So living bacteria, for example, in Meder, we are using living bacteria in masks mostly, because masks are based on it is water-based active gel with hyaluronic acid. It creates a very friendly environment for the bacteria. But in creams, we are using mostly fragments of bacteria called lysates or filtrates. And they are byproducts or fragments of the membranes of bacteria. And fun fact, your beneficial bacteria, when they see these fragments of membranes or metabolics of bacteria, they are reacting to them. It promotes the growth of the same kind of bacteria on your skin. So if you put the fragments of the lactobacillus on your skin will grow more actively. And at the same time, it helps to suppress the pathogenic bacteria at the same time. We don't know why they do it. No idea. They just do it. And the science is looking for the answers. And also the metabiotics. Metabiotics, they are biofermented products. So metabiotics, it is a combination of the plant extract with living bacteria. So, for example, we are using resveratrol metabiotics. So it is the same resveratrol extracted from the red grape, fermented by the wine-making bacteria, Pichia resveratroli. And I love in conferences and in discussion to ask the group of people, did you try grape juice? 100% of people tried it. It is popular, right? Did you try red wine? Almost everyone in the adult population tried the red wine. Could you see the difference between grape juice and red wine? Obviously, everyone can make the difference because they are different products. But actually, it is a great example. That's a metabiotic grape juice with a new ability. So grape juice is great, nutritional antioxidant, but red wine is nutritional antioxidant and psychoactive. So it creates this feeling of drunkenness, right? Because biofermentation creates new substances in the grape juice, which interacts with our nervous system, which interacts with our brain. Same for the skincare. You take resveratrol, which is a powerful antioxidant, helps to increase the water-holding capacity of the skin, but also when you bioferment it, it has the new ability to boost the collagen synthesis of first and fourth types, so-called youth collagen. So resveratrol becomes not only the great antioxidant, but also collagen boosting ingredients. So biofermentation brings a new ability to the ingredient. And we use a lot of them. We use sake extract, like rice biofermented by sake-making bacteria or yeast. So we have this complex. Rice extract is great. It's used for hydration of the skin. It's hydrating ingredient. Sake extract, biofermented rice extract, it's brightening and hydrating. We use the kimchi cabbage, biofermented kimchi by leuconostock, and cabbage is brightening and hydrating, moisturizing. But biofermented, it becomes antibacterial slightly as well, helps to eliminate the bad odor of the body, and helps to preserve the healthy microbiome. So there are a lot of metabiotic ingredients, biofermented ingredients. They are very much in trend now. I was asked like 10 times in the last year by the press to explain what biofermented ingredients are. And here we are. We use it. So microbiome-oriented skincare can be used for different kinds of skin conditions. Finally, I got this table. Right? So for acne, we are using prebiotics such as biocholia, glucomannan, and sebum-regulating skincare. Because when you suppress the sebum production, it is microbiome-oriented action. Because if you have less of sebum, you will have less of Cutibacterium acnes. In rosacea, there are different prebiotics. Biocholia, it's still there. But another prebiotic, it's inulin. It will be more efficient. And moisturizing, but non-occlusive skincare. Because rosacea does not like oil, does not like film. Rosacea skin should be intact, so you don't put the rich oily cream, especially mineral oil or coconut-based cream, on the rosacea skin. In dry skin, other prebiotics, xylitol, glucose, fructose, they are helping to suppress the growth of malassezia yeast on the skin, responsible for flaking, responsible for dryness, but in the same time, microbiome-oriented ingredients will be ceramides, fatty acid, squalane, and all kinds of ingredients stimulating the synthesis of lipids. Sensitive skin, once again, bio E. coli, same inulin, so exactly the same as rosacea, and same moisturizing non-inclusive skincare would be very proficient for the sensitive skin. And for mature skin, xylitol, bio E. coli, and rhamnose have been found to be very useful. So when you read on the label of these names, it is very much anti-aging prebiotic-based skincare. And ingredients which are interacting with estrogen receptors, it is another topic. And the specific ingredient for menopausal skin, which can modulate the reaction of skin cells to the lower level of estrogens, and different kind of occlusive, non-occlusive moisturizing skincare. There's a huge list of prebiotics. It is not full, but when you have time, you can just see it. I made this table to help you read the label professionally. And this actually, I published this article years ago, and I just added a few new ingredients. You can still find this article, Skin Microbiome, in Aesthetics UK, I think 2018. And they are probiotics used for different kind of skin condition. You see atopic dermatitis. They are scientifically proven be efficient probiotics. Vitricilla, used in the mother dirt, actually skincare products, great products. Streptococcus thermophilus, Lactobacillus johnsoni, also for wound healing. It is a new direction, and it's used very much in the pharmacology now, this new kind of probiotics for wound healing, especially important for elderly people suffering from diabetes. Rosacea, Bifidobacterium lactobacillus. Dandruff, also lactobacillus now is helping, so we have a new way to treat dandruff. Psoriasis, and finally acne. Streptococcus thermophilus, the same as for atopic dermatitis, Enterococcus, and Streptococcus salivarius. Also in aging skin, Nitrosomonas and Lactobacillus bushneri found to be efficient. New understanding of acne is based on the more complex theory. So the old understanding of acne was based on the formation of comedones and hyperproduction of sebum and hyperkeratinization, right? It is classic. It is in all guidelines. So in the therapy, all our efforts have been directed for sebum production, for keratinization, and for prevention of comedone formation. That's it. Now our understanding of acne takes biofilm formation, microbiome role, and the quorum sensing phenomenon. So we see it more globally. But let's start with microcomedone formation. So what we know, it's just, some kind of traditional learning, it's a classic. I'm sure you know all about it. And you can see here on the picture, the sebaceous glands of healthy patients and in acne patients. You see how full it is in acne patients. It's just full of lipids, it's full of sebum. What happens and what leads to the formation of comedones? First of all, increased sebum extraction. Why it happens? Why our sebum glands produce more of sebum? It is a higher rate of testosterone. In teenager age, it is the first period of higher incidence of acne because the hormonal balance is changing so much, and that's why boys are suffering from acne more than girls, because they have more testosterone in their skin. And testosterone, it just activates the production of the sebum. Also, it's a high expression of some receptors and sebaceous, and their familiar receptors, TRPV1, involved in the rosacea pathogenesis, involved in the sensitive skin formation, and also they involved in the acne at the same time. And also factor, it is a higher activity of 5-alpha reductase in sebum glands, which convert lipids and which activates the excessive production of sebum by glands. Also, all these processes are leading to the hyperkeratinization and the increase of interleukins, inflammatory substances activity. So we have more of sebum. This sebum is different because healthy sebum is more liquid, unhealthy sebum is viscous. Also, healthy sebum is largely antioxidant, but in pathogenically changed sebum, when the sebum production is extensive and is really like 30% higher, it is some kind of the level which is significant. When you have less than 30% of excessive sebum production, probably your skin will be still healthy, but shiny. But if you have more than 30% increase, your skin will be not shiny, but inflamed as well, because all these processes will lead to the whole global inflammation activation. And microcomedone starts to form in the deep of the skin, in the deep layer of the skin. It is not in the epidermis, right? It starts to form in the dermis, in sebum glands, and the formation takes about 8 weeks. Why it is important to keep in mind this timing? Because when you start to treat acne, there are still comedones sitting in dermis, which you cannot stop to transform to the final form. It is just impossible. If it has started to form, it should grow and it should be eliminated naturally. Unfortunately, we cannot stop it. We can just destroy it with laser rays, for example. But with the skincare, you will see these comedones coming on the surface of the skin in the upcoming 8 weeks. It will be less and less of them because new comedones, when you started the good skincare, which is efficient, which is globally affecting, globally targeting different mechanisms of pathogenesis of acne, that will be less and less of comedone formation. And probably you will stop the comedone formation in 3-4 weeks after you started the treatment. But 8 weeks after you started the treatment, you will see new comedones on the skin surface. Don't be afraid. It is a normal process. If you will still see new comedones 9 weeks after, 10 weeks after, it means then your treatment is not efficient enough or maybe not individual enough. But don't worry if you have some comedones appearing in 8 weeks' time. It's not the whole picture. We have this sebum production, we have this hyperkeratinization, we have formation of the microcomedone, but we have the microbiome involved as well, because increased sebum production and hyperkeratinization, it is a great food for pathogenic strains of Cutibacterium acnes. So it's some kind of prebiotics. But they are prebiotics for bad bacteria, naturally produced by our sebum glands. And it leads to the prevalence of the pathogenic strains of Cutibacterium acnes. And it leads to growth of inflammatory microbiome and even to so-called darkening microbiome. It is also what is causing the post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. So it works all together. And also it is gut-skin axis, because some gut bacteria can produce inflammatory substances for the skin and darkening substances of the skin. And here we have scientific proof that so-called Western diet can be bad for acne patients and can really, if it is not causing acne, it is increasing the risk of acne in people with some genetic predisposition and higher hormonal level in their skin. So what you should avoid? Dairy milk, sugar, red meat. If you cannot avoid it totally, you should minimize the intake of this product. That's for different reasons, but dairy milk contains a special amino acid called leucine, and the same amino acid is in the red meat as well, and our gut microbiome just transforms it to some inflammatory substances. And sugar, because sugar, it is a probiotic for bad bacteria in your gut, and these bad bacteria are synthesizing and producing a lot of inflammatory substances. So in the active acne treatment, and if you can control the acne, you should avoid this food as much as you can. And microbiome, when it is forming this overexpression of receptors, when we have more and more of pathogenic Cutibacterium acnes strains, they are starting to communicate with each other. And they're finding new friends. And this phenomenon called quorum sensing, it is literally social media of bacteria, fungi, viruses, everything on the skin. What is interesting, then more of pathogenic bacteria you have, more chatty they will be. And finally, they form the community, and it is a toxic community, fighting the good community. Do you see the allegory of the human society? I do very much, because the microbiome is really the mirror of the human society. So it forms the intercellular bacterial communication, and they are using the biochemical language, the special molecules called autoinducers, which induce new function in bacteria and yeast, and especially active in acne formation of communication. They are pathogenic Cutibacterium acnes and malassezia. They are working together. They are forming this army of harmful bacteria, and they are starting to produce some new substances, forming the film on the skin, which is responsible for drug resistance. That's why chronic acne is so difficult to treat. And when the acne is persisting for 4-6 months or more, it is always biofilm-based acne. So very probably it will not react to the antibiotic treatment properly. It will recidivate all the time. It will be very difficult to treat even with acids or laser, because biofilm is very difficult to destroy. It's like a biological glue produced by this pathogenic bacteria. And the phenomenon of quorum sensing, it is very interesting. It was found like 30 years ago, and it was about the skin in the first place. It was mostly about the chronic infection of transplants of articulation. And they've been very useful in the reanimation, because people living in coma for months and sometimes years, they have this respiration help, right? And very often they form some very new infection with these devices. And this infection, actually, it was found the biofilm formation on the device. And now they've been found that probably 90% of all kinds of chronic infection in our body, it is a biofilm infection formed by this quorum sensing phenomenon. So when your bacteria are living in distance to each other, healthy distance, they're like, I'm alone, I cannot communicate with everyone. But when the density of the bacterial population is becoming higher, they are starting to produce these substances, and they form this group behavior. And this group behavior changed gene expression. And it forms a biofilm. So keratinocytes and sebocytes culture all together, they are starting to interact, and this collection of the microorganism creates a collective organism. So they are not microorganisms anymore. They form this toxic organ, toxic film, collecting all together. And it is even the new name for this collective organism, sessile. And This sessile produces biological glue, which stick this pathogenic microorganism to one place, and like in a horror movie, it starts to grow. It grows slowly, but constantly. And if you don't treat it, chronic acne can be 20-25 years problem. Only when the skin like overaged, when it became so mature, it cannot produce the sebum anymore. This biofilm dies naturally on the skin. But before, it can be active for many years. And it forms comedones, it triggers inflammation, so it just maintains this pathological situation. So this chronic kind of acne, it's very difficult to treat, but it was found the way to treat it with another social media, which is called quorum quenching. I'm sorry to use so many new terminology, but it is a new science, and it is very effective, very exciting and interesting, right? So we have this ability of bacteria to communicate. We can use it in both ways. And pathogenic communicating, it's quorum sensing. Quorum, it's like a collective of bacteria enough to take a decision. It's talk from the Roman history, because historically in the ancient Rome, when the people just created some group and they decided then we are enough to take some decisions, they called themselves quorum. So that's the same quorum for bacteria. If it is communication, it's non-pathogenic, so they form some kind of healthy paradigm. We call it quenching. And it can include many of bacterial species. And quorum sensing, we just found the way to treat the acne with this quorum sensing, quorum quenching approach. And actually, I presented this quorum sensing approach to the acne therapy in 2022 in the first time in the Boston Microbiome conference. And it was first in the world known presentation of quorum sensing based therapy for the acne treatment after I was invited to talk in the bacteriophages conferences about it. It was published in the article. So we officially been first in the world to use it. And the principle of the quorum sensing based treatment is divide to cure. It's like, this traditional war strategy. We just divide this community of bacteria who are taking bad decisions to smaller group of bacteria who are not able to take these decisions themselves. And we show the message and not the messenger. We are eliminating these biochemical auto-inducers. So we just shut down the Twitter, or how it's called now, X. So we shut down the social media for this toxically behaving microorganisms. We disrupt quorum sensing, replace it by quorum quenching, and all we need are substances which are able to recognize biochemical language and destroy biochemical messengers. And we found it, and actually another surprise, somehow traditional medicine knew about biofilms thousands of years ago. The noni plant stem cells extract was used in Indonesia to treat chronic wounds and infections very efficiently, at least for 1,500 years. Can you imagine? And we took this noni plant stem cells, and it is a new technology, biological technology. We put this plant extract, stem cells extract, into the plasm enriched with Cutibacterium acnes, typical for face and body acne. And in 2 weeks, they are ready to work. And we just incorporate them in the concentrate or in the cream, because they can be fat soluble and water soluble. And when you apply it in the skin, it just destroys one by one messengers. And when Cutibacterium acnes is not able to communicate with pathogenic Malassezia, They're not able to produce this biological glue anymore. And in a couple of weeks, they are naked. And we can treat them with any kind of traditional treatment very efficiently. And that's how we treat now chronic adult acne and all kind of severe form acne. We have a lot of success in that. So the new approach is based on the interaction not only with sebocytes, but with keratinocytes as well, and with microbiome. So there are three parts of it. And yes, we take in count the sebum production, the keratinization, the inflammatory process, but also we keep in mind microbiome and the biofilm. And we are using a lot of pathways, blocking androgen hormonal influence, blocking the Cutibacterium acnes influence, suppressing hyperkeratosis, suppressing sebum production, and finally destroying biofilm. So simply speaking, that's a simplified picture. We use prebiotics and probiotic strategy alongside this traditional approach, which is decrease of the sebum production in de-keratinization of the skin. So we still exfoliate, we still using ingredients which suppress the sebum production in sebum glands, but we use new substances promoting the growth of beneficial bacteria, suppressing the growth of Cutibacterium acnes, and substances destroying the biofilm formed by Cutibacterium acnes in chronic acne situation. So it's much more complicated, but it's much more efficient. And the beauty of it, it is natural. You don't really need chemically synthesized substances to achieve this result. So we can really to use this metabolomic shift for the good and to suppress the microorganisms promoting inflammation by microorganisms with antioxidant properties, restoring the healthy sebum quality, not only the healthy sebum amount, and restoring the skin health, finally. Actually, that's just, I cannot stop myself to talk about it a little. That's a very similar situation in the formation of granuloma after injectables. It's called late bacterial infection after hyaluronic acid gel augmentation. So sometimes after injections of fillers based on hyaluronic acid, granuloma are formed in lips, in old lines and wrinkles, and it can happen in 3, 4, 5 years after injections. And it can be inflamed, it can lead really to deformational changes in the face. And it was found that it is the same biofilm than in acne. A little bit different by microorganisms, but the situation is exactly the same. We don't know the real incidence because we don't have the statistic properly, but in some, it can be from 0.01% of patients till 0.1% of patients. But speaking about millions of people who have hyaluronic acid-based injections in their skin, it can be thousands and dozens of thousands of people who are suffering from these side effects, from these consequences, years after they've taken the decision to get beautiful lips, right? And actually, it's kind of easy to prevent. If you use prebiotic, probiotic-based skincare a couple of weeks before injection and a couple of weeks after injection, at least locally, it helps you to prevent this granuloma formation in the upcoming years. And it's fine if you take prebiotic moisturizer like our Dermafil, or you take anti-acne cream to use around your lips or in the zone of nasolabial folds if you plan to inject them. And it helps you to prevent this side effect. What we have for the home care acne treatment? It's easy. 3 products which you should recommend to use to your patients. Obviously, that will be cleanser and serum. And the cream for maintained results, I will speak about it later. But 3 active treatment products, the EUSEP active serum or concentrate, EUSEP mask, And EU skin cream, which is former EU body cream, we just discovered that the anti-acne body cream happened to be extremely efficient for the face acne treatment as well. So we just renamed it recently. How it works? There are a few principles. To suppress the sebum production, we are using the so-called RIR, targeted therapy. It's retinoic acid receptors targeted therapy. We are using here not the retinoic acid itself. We use the substances extracted from the Maclura plants, which acts as a retinoic acid but with no side effects, but exactly the same effect. So we suppress the sebum production and suppress the hyperkeratinization of skin. Another part of the action, we are using prebiotic to promote the growth of beneficial anti-inflammatory bacteria, and we are using quorum sensing approach, eliminating autoinducers and targeting the biofilm. So there are 3 products which can be used for the acute acne treatment and chronic acne treatment at all ages, all genders, and any time of your life. And they're pregnancy safe, breastfeeding safe, and can be used in the summer because they are not increasing photosensitivity of the skin. I don't know how it's possible to make it better. Just no way. They're the best one. And we have professional acne treatment as well. The whole EUSEP treatment, which I recommend to use once a week for at least 5 weeks time. If your patient, if your client cannot come every week to your treatment room, they absolutely should use all range of products in the home care. And very probably results will come a little bit later, because with a professional treatment, and if you can add also light therapy and microcurrent therapy, you can get results in weeks. You can get a real improvement in 4 or 5 weeks time. If you are using only home care, it will take probably 10-12 weeks. If you are using the combination like professional treatment once a month and the home care, count on 8-10 weeks time. And our products, they are hugely awarded. They've been called best acne treatment, best oily skin treatment, best oily skin mask. So we have 6 awards for 6 products in the range. How it works, the EUSEP acne serum? We used it for prebiotic acne therapy because first we launched this product in 2013. It was based on the BioE. coli prebiotic. It was really efficient, and it was our best-selling product. We treated a lot of acne cases with that, but we upgraded it last year, adding this non-plant stem cells extract, which I've been speaking previously, to destroy the biofilm, and Maclura stem cells extract, which is full of bioflavonoids, acting as retinoic acid-like ingredient. So now it is the concentrate, which is globally, which provides us with global anti-acne action. You suppress the sebum production in 30% in the first 2 weeks of use, exactly like retinoic acid does. You suppress the hyperkeratinization in the same time, so the skin will be mattified and looking much more healthier. In the same time, you promote the growth of beneficial bacteria, and you destroy the biofilm. You destroy all these pathogenic strains of bacteria in your skin. So it is first in the world, quorum sensing based therapy, highly efficient, loved by everyone, and it is huge base of bioflavonoids, retinoic acid-based ingredients. And you can see this comparative control. Commercial name of this ingredient is Siboclear. It's produced by the Swiss company, and they have a lot of science behind it with total active gland counts. What I like more about it, look, they got this research when they exposed sebum glands to these ingredients for 84 days, and they have a total count of active sebum glands, like almost 10 times less of active sebum glands in skin in 3 months. And that's what we need in severe acne. We need not only sebum glands be less active, we need them to be non-active. So it actually provides us with the same results in laser therapy, but without destroying sebum glands, without destroying follicles. So retinoic acid, it is a chemical approach to the laser therapy. The problem with retinoic acid itself and laser itself, they are traumatic, they are aggressive. And the beauty of these retinoic acid-lake ingredients, we have the same effect, but with no consequences. We don't pay for this breakfast. And biocolor science, I'm sure that you are familiar with, because it is an ingredient we are using since 2013. So that's a great history behind it. And we have all this research showing that it suppresses the growth of Cutibacterium acnes. We started to use it when it called Propionibacterium acnes. It suppresses the growth even pathogenic vaginal microbiome in vagina. And it's used in gynecology now for treatment of vaginitis. It suppresses the growth of Cutibacterium minutissimi. It is an microorganism involved in the atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, and bad odor of the sweat. And Staphylococcus aureus, involved in the chronic wound formation. So biocolor is used in so many ways, but we are using it for acne treatment and rosacea treatment. And actually it's recommended to use 0.75% of the biocolor. Honestly, I'm using 3%. Because theory is theory, but in the real life, with prebiotics, it's better to put a little bit more because skin is exposed to so many factors, and we have great results also with a significant increase of the production of antimicrobial peptides, beta-defensin. And finally, our noni stem cells, scientific name Morinda centifolia, stem cells from Australia and New Zealand. And it's what we use for destroy this social media between Cutibacterium acnes and malassezia. And see, we have also a lot of science behind it. So it's really rebalance the microbiome of the skin, switching completely the balance. So we've had Staphylococcus aureus on high, as well as pathogenic bacteria, pathogenic Cutibacterium acnes, when we started the treatment. And in 4 weeks of treatment, we have 50% less of Cutibacterium acnes and 54% less of Staphylococcus aureus. And that's how we have these results. And we tested our product itself in independent laboratory. And we've got a great result, actually. When we sent the product for tests and they started to test it, they called me next day and asked what it is. Because we never see it. It suppresses the growth of Cutibacterium acnes in 92% in the first 24 hours in the culture. And they've been like, we've never seen it. There's no antibiotic. And it doesn't look like an antibiotic. It looks like a water, what you put in. And actually, it's really proved our claim to be EUSEP active serum as an active, scientifically proven to be an anti-acne treatment and anti-inflammatory treatment, highly efficient for the skin. And also this new anti-acne cream, if previously I recommended to use EUSEP concentrate active serum on the daily basis and EUSEP mask on the weekly basis and apply to Equiderm cream for an oily skin to protect your skin and maintain, control the sebum production. Now we recommend to use new cream, EUSkin anti-acne cream for the whole active course of acne treatment because it's just better for the active phase of the treatment. It helps to achieve results with a guarantee in 8-10 weeks time. So what does it contain? Same noni plants, stem cells, biofilm, quorum sensing, anti-social media ingredient. That's probiotic kimchi extract, metabiotic, antibacterial, and also helps to soothe inflammation, eliminate chronic infection. 4% of niacinamide proven to be as much efficient as antibiotic clindamycin in acne treatment. We never use 4% of niacinamide in any of other products because in this concentration, it's really used for acne and skin brightening only. So EU skin cream is brightening as well. And panthenol, or vitamin B5, heals inflammation and inflammatory skin damage. So in the same times, you prevent scarring, you prevent and you treat post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, and you treat acne, 3 in 1. And it restores a natural skin barrier and healthy microbiome. And also, once again, we tested it. So we have all this independent scientific test, and here we have even more reduction of Cutibacterium acnes until 100% of pathogenic strains are eliminated in the first 24 hours. So you can see results really quickly in the first week's time. And when you achieve results, to maintain these results, you remember the skin is still oily. Hormones are still there. So you should control the sebum production. You should maintain the healthy microbiome. And Equiderm cream is ideal for maintenance of results. Actually, we've got great results when we use it for the treatment. Just EU skin is even more efficient, more active. So we use this Equiderm cream to maintain results, to control results. It is very comfortable, lightweight, oil-free substance, can be used for years on a daily basis until this moment, and your skin will be mature and start to produce less of sebum itself. So you can switch to Salvaderm or even Armaderm with time. It's based on the avocutin, which is natural alternative to the retinol. If in EU skin and EU sep concentrate, we are using retinoic acid similar ingredient. Here we are using retinol-like ingredient. It is not less efficient, it's just not so highly efficient than retinoic acid. So it helps to maintain results, but still maintains the sebum production under control. Another mushroom loved by me, agaricon mushroom from dark Canada forest, actually grown now in the laboratory. And it helps to minimize enlarged pores. Another important thing, because everyone loves skin looking healthy, with the pore reduced, and it soothes the inflammation on the skin and keeps the skin under control. And finally, prebiotic BioCola. You know about it. I am using BioCola in half of our product, and it is the greatest prebiotic for the acne skin, rosacea skin, sensitive skin, and even for aging skin. And this cream has 2 awards. Was called Best Product for Oily Skin and Best Product for Oily Skin by Marie Claire. So 2 institutions call it the best. So same for EU sep mask for weekly use, 3 awards. Because it is magic SOS mask, first of all. If you have some period breakout, just keep it on the shelf and use it 1 week before your period to stay out of breakouts for the whole month. Use it weekly in the phase of the active acne treatment. And you can use it later if your skin is prone to oiliness. It mattifies the skin immediately and it helps it calm, healthy, well moisturized, and with a perfect barrier function for 5-7 days after you use this mask once. So it's perfectly natural, hyaluronic acid based, only biotechnological ingredient here. It is a skin sense cell peptide, which is anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic, calm down all sensitivity reaction, but it is high concentration of the green tea from Japan. We are using matcha green tea here, which is highly antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. Aloe vera extract, chamomile flowers, historically known to be inflammatory, and algae complex, to restore not only lipid part of the skin barrier, but also proteins part of the skin barrier. So all you have, the whole range for the acne treatment, you can offer to your patients prebiotic-based cleanser with same bioequaler for sensitive skin, anti-inflammatory, day and night. Soanapax and Tel-Asiatica-based anti-inflammatory serum, same we use for sensitive skin and for acne. Active treatment, EUSEP active serum, EUSEP mask, and EU skin cream. And to maintain results, you keep people on cleanser, serum, and Ecoderm cream for an oily skin. As easy as it is. So for the active phase of the treatment, like maybe 10, 12 weeks, you need cleanser, serum, concentrate, EU skin cream, and mask once a week. So in total, 5 products. To maintain results, 1, 2, 3 products for daily use, and EUSEP mask for weekly use, and you will love it. Once you try it, you'll love it. You will never get rid of it because it is addictive, in good sense. And the few results, that's a treatment, 5 weeks of EUSEP treatment, which is breakout of chronic adult acne after laser resurfacement, which is extremely difficult to treat, by the way, and the patient was treated unsuccessfully for some time, and after came to EUSEP treatment with good results. This one, 12 weeks of anti-acne EUSEP treatment. This patient suffered from acne for more than 20 years. Tried literally everything. And was treated in 3 months' time, once for all. Never suffered from acne before. And even you see severe form of acne, you can treat successfully. This patient has had a contraindication for the use of Roacutan. So it was a topical treatment. And in 3 months of treatment, they came to absolutely healthy skin, and it stayed healthy after. And the newest, I like to show it because I will even present the clinical case of this treatment in San Diego in October in this year, in the Microbiome 12th Congress of the Microbiome in San Diego. And look at this. It was dermatologically officially diagnosed pityriasis versicolor, persisting in the long time on the back of the patients, and you see it is a hyperpigmentation created by pityriasis, which is extremely difficult to treat. And patient was recommended, got the recommendation from dermatologist to use some kind of dermatological treatment, but she chose to try EU skin cream. And the patient, she is a skin therapist, so I am very grateful to her to give, to offer us a photo to show it, because I think it is very important for the community to see that we can treat it easily. In 7 days' time, it was such an impressive change of the pigmentation. In 14 days, it was clean, absolutely clean. Traditional treatments of pityriasis versicolor take long months, sometimes years. And it can be cleared in 2 weeks' time using only 1 product with no side effect, because it is change of the microbiome. Once again, you take off biofilm, you take off the problem. So I am very proud of these results. It was unexpected for me, and I think it will be very important to present to the scientific community, because it's the first in the world known case of the successful treatment of pityriasis versicolor with prebiotics and probiotics. Never seen it before. And we can help a lot of people, because it's such an easy, healthy, safe way to treat not only aesthetic concerns, but real dermatologists. So thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please address it to your managers, distributors' office, local trainers, and if they don't know the answer, believe me, they will find me and I will help. Thank you.